how did you come up with the design of the pick? First and foremost.
Well, to be honest with you, it's just comes from playing. I tried to play the guitar for a long time, and I kept having the pick slip out of my hands and spin and constantly get out of position. And I'm not good enough to just, make it go perfect. So one day I had these old cards laying around, like these little credit cards,
Yeah.
and I started cutting out shapes and just, drawing little designs. And soon I came up with this design that started to work for me. It stopped dropping, it stopped spinning, and I could play.
Yeah.
So I would just play for a long time just with, ones that I cut out of like old casino credit cards and stuff. And that's how the original design started, just like that. And, really what happened is when the COVID lockdown started,
Yeah.
that's when I decided, well, I guess I'll start working on the pick.
You have to time too. Now, did you ever think about like the accessibility side of things when you were creating the pick?
At first I didn't, and I don't know, it just didn't occur to me because I didn't have any disability, so it didn't occur to me like like it wouldn't think in your head. But the weird part out is to skip ahead a little bit. Once I started making these picks and trying to sell some originally, I started getting feedback from people with disabilities thanking me and saying, hey, I'm my hands are real bad with arthritis, or I'm missing fingers, or whatever it was. And they said I couldn't hold a regular pick, but I can hold yours, and now I'm playing the guitar. And it's like when you get something like that, it always feels great when you get a sale, but when you get something where you're actually helping somebody,
Yeah.
that just warms you up, and that makes you feel like, oh, now I'm doing something that's, not just some stupid pick.
Yeah. Yeah, because for example, I've been playing for just shy of 10 years now.
Yeah,
And for me, I was using thumb picks primarily, but like we discussed privately a few weeks ago, a thumb pick can only do so much.
right.
And yes, I did the job for 9 years, but I was missing that wrist fluidity that traditional players get. I wasn't
Right.
getting that. Now with this, it's given me not only more of a stable grip, which is great, because being as spastic as I am, I drop things 50 million times a day. That's just how things go around here. But not only that, but it also gave me more freedom with my
That's
playing,
great.
because I was very limited to what I could do because of the thumb pick. And now it's just given me, because for example, there's been stuff over the years that I know in my head that I could play if I had the fluidity.
Yep.
And now I'm able to do that.
That's awesome.
And I wouldn't have found the pics if it wasn't for Ellen, who introduced me to them, because we got to collaborate back in October. So whenever she finds something that could remotely work, she sends it over.
Oh, cool.
And she showed these to me. And I was like, okay, where's these been? Because the last 9 years of my life. Even my guitar journey is really crazy. I tried local instructors. Everyone said no because
Yep.
of the physical aspect. I ended up learning online with someone out of Florida.
Yeah.
We did Skype lessons for 8 years or so.
Wow.
And I'm not sure if you've seen my setup, but I play like a piano.
Yeah,
So
I've
I
seen it. I think it's very smart.
play in an open tuning, and when it came time for picks, we were like, okay, how is this gonna work? Because some thumb picks even can be really flimsy.
Right.
They can be really just not, it just doesn't work. And so what we were doing, we were gluing a traditional pick to a thumb pick to make it a little more sturdy, and that worked for a while. And I've
Yeah.
done several thumb pick shootouts, and I found a pick that worked for years. But again, I was missing that motion that most traditional guitar players take advantage of.
Hmm.
And so I found these, and from day one, I felt the change immediately. I'm like, okay, this is gonna work. And I mean, not just I wasn't just thinking about myself. I teach as well,
Uh-huh.
like I told you. So I immediately thought of people I teach. Because I mean, not being able to hold a pick can be pretty discouraging
Yes.
to people. Especially see, because especially the way I play, we don't have the freedom of gravity helping us out. Because we don't play up and down. So our
Right.
strums are more across and up. So
Okay.
we don't have the ability of letting gravity do the work for us.
Hmm.
So we still have to do the work. And like with these, I mean, one thing I noticed right off the bat was how sturdy they felt.
Oh,
Because,
good.
because I guess that thumb picks can be very, very flimsy. Like I've actually chipped a thumb pick from how
Wow.
flimsy it was. Yeah, that was fun. But I mean, when Alan showed me these, I was like, because most adapted anything in general is
Hmm.
way overly priced. Like, I was researching something for a student, and I came across this automatic strummer for someone that obviously can't use their second arm. So I looked into it just for fun because I know how expensive these things can get. I mean, I've been living this for 25 years of my life now.
Right.
So and it was over 3 grand.
What?
Yeah, for something you can make at home pretty much.
Wow.
So that's another thing that really impressed me, your prices. Because I mean things like that can easily be jacked up if you put the word adapted in front of them.
Right.
And I know a lot of people that have taken advantage of that.
Not
Like,
me. Honest to God, it's like the part about this is that when I started getting letters and feedback and stuff from people I was helping, you want to be able to just help.
yeah,
But I'm in a business, and I have bills just like everybody else to pay.
yeah, of course.
So you have to charge for it. You got to find a fair price, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one thing I've tried to do as a guitarist myself. I've,
Hmm.
I've always said if I can change one thing about the guitar community, it would be inclusion. Because a lot of it is, I mean, especially with my teaching, I've seen so many talented players that could make big waves in the industry if they were just given the chance.
True. It's
And,
true.
and I mean, I've been fortunate enough to partner with incredible companies. I'm actually an affiliate for Journey Instruments. I actually have one of their guitars right behind me. But
Nice.
yeah, I mean, and that's one thing I've really been very passionate about since I started. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you or not, but I actually released an adaptive beginner guitar course last
Oh
year.
yeah.
Yeah, because See, when I was learning guitar, I mean, there were no resources out there. And I
Yeah.
mean, still to this day, like, because I play in open C, I'm not sure if I've mentioned it to you, but I do play in open C, and for years, like, we had to build our own tabs, our own chord charts, because they just weren't out there.
Yeah.
It got to a point where I was like, you know what? I need to do something about this, because I mean, I don't want people to have to struggle like I did for years.
Sure. Well,
Like,
necessity is the mother of invention, they say.
yeah, so I mean, when I found the text, I mean, I knew they would help. I did not realize to what extent they would help. But just to give you an example, with a thumbtack, I would probably feel it slide even if I were just speaking. Like if I had stopped playing just to speak, it was probably gonna move around. I tested that theory the other day.
Yeah.
I was playing and speaking for about 2 hours. The pick did not move. I did not drop it. Nothing.
That's awesome.
So I mean, yeah, thumb picks are great for certain circumstances, but it gets to a point where it limits what you can do.
Uh-huh.
So ever since I've gotten these, I've been recommending them to everyone and their mother.
Oh, thank you.
No, for sure. Yeah, I actually do music therapy as well, which if you want to go back to that episode, I can send you a link to that later.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think my music therapist was more excited about these than I was. Because I mean, this is what she does day in, day out. So
Right.
she already had a list of clients in her head that would benefit from these. Yeah, because I mean, we were trying to come up with a big solution for years.
Yeah.
And same thing goes with any piece of guitar equipment. I mean, we're in the process of building me a custom capo right now.
Oh, okay.
I can move independently because trigger capos are not my friend when it comes to independence.
Right.
And I mean, hello, I don't want to have to be asking someone to move a capo for me every time I need to move it. So
Right.
we're actually in the process of engineering an adaptive capo right now. And you're actually the first to know this, but we're gonna redo my stand and mass produce it in the future.
Now that's great thinking. Smart
Because
idea.
because I mean, I
If
started
it works for you, it's going to work for other people.
yeah, and funny story with the stand. I started playing on a bar stool. That was
Huh?
that was my stand for a while, and
Okay.
the stool just got in the way at some point. Like I was just over the stool. So
Hmm.
my dad, being the genius he is, I was around 16 or 17 at the time, and we decided to just build something, and we kind of took the concept of like, those neck cradles for like workbenches that
Uh-huh.
use. We took that concept and we were like, hey, what if we put that on a stick?
Smart.
There you go. But we didn't take into account that my chairs would grow.
Hmm.
So what we're doing with the new one, we're actually planning to put it like on the base of a music stand.
Right.
That way it can grow.
Interesting.
Because I mean, people are gonna need different heights and stuff. I'm
Right. Good.
right now. But yeah, I
Can
mean,
it attach to the chair or anything? Or
um, we actually are working on that because
are you?
it it does move. It does move quite a bit. I've gotten used to the movement.
Right.
It doesn't really bother me anymore. But I mean, if we can get it not to move, that's the goal. So we're actually thinking of different ideas to get it to attach to the chair.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole thing with my setup, I mean, it's been a big old Frankenstein of stuff we've had to just create over the years because it's not out there. And I mean, the guy that taught me guitar, he was only 19 when we started.
Wow.
And I mean, over the years, we just kind of made things work.
Yeah.
And I mean, it took our first 6 months of lessons were literally, how the heck are we gonna do this? How the heck are we gonna make this work? But I mean, I told you this a few days ago, but I mean, for you, it was just something for you, but it turned into something I don't think you were expecting.
No.
Like, that's the thing, like, a lot of the stuff I've seen, people don't really expect it to take the accessibility route. Because I mean, if you don't live it, you don't think about it.
It's true. That's the truth.
Yeah, and then like when I saw them, I was like, oh, those could be good training picks. But then I was like, wait a sec.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, they really do have several purposes. I mean, they could be, the variety pack can be used as a training pack
Yeah.
for traditional player, and then there's adaptations like this that, hello,
Well, that was the idea of the progression pack. Was once we started seeing that it could help people play the guitar who ordinarily wouldn't be able to play, I thought, well, then once you start playing with the longer handle, maybe through time and perseverance, you can go to the shorter handle. And then through time and perseverance, even the shorter handle. You never know what you can do.
Yeah.
You know, when you try, you just never know. And then if it goes through, next thing you know, you're holding anything.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I had a student that I brought them up to, and he got them a few weeks ago, I think, and he messaged me screaming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because for a lot of people, like, grip on anything,
Mm-hmm.
especially with cerebral palsy itself. I mean, it affects all four limbs on my end.
Right.
But some people have it too, where it's just half of the body.
Okay.
It just happens to be everything.
Mm.
But and I mentioned this in my memoir, which the podcast is based off of. Kind of it's an extension of the book. But yeah, I was so when I showed them to him, he was a little skeptical, as is everyone, because
Mm-hmm.
even though something is labeled adapted, it might not work. I mean, you just never know.
Yeah.
But when I got that message, I'm like, I guess it was a good outcome then.
That's wow.
Because I mean, like, I remember back in the day, it was probably the end of year one of lessons, and we finally got through my first song. I kid you not, I drove around my house screaming. No, that was everything I wanted for 6
Yeah.
months of my life up to that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, it took someone over 1,000 miles away from me to take that chance, but I mean, I was the type of kid that, like, yeah, my guitar sat in a corner for a few years. Of
Yep.
course it did.
Yep.
Because everyone and their mother told me no.
Yes.
But I would sit there and be like, one day I'm going to pick you up. And it took It took 5 years to say that to myself, but here I am almost 9 years after that.
Absolutely. God bless you, man. That's the way to go.
And I
You
mean,
gotta go. You gotta try, you know?
and I mean, like, people always ask me, like, because I play in an open tuning, if I feel like if I'm taking the cheater's way out. No, it's just as difficult. Just as difficult. We still deal with the aches and pains.
Absolutely.
Fingers. We still deal with all of it. We're not cheating.
I got news for you. The Rolling Stones play a lot of their music in open tuning.
Yeah.
Ron Wood and Keith Richards wrote a lot of music on open tuning.
Yeah.
And they're regarded by some people as the greatest band in the world.
Yeah.
And also slide guitar. When you play slide guitar, it's open tuning in a lot of times too.
I'm actually
There's no cheating going on at all.
Yeah. I'm actually working on Ocean by John Butler right now.
Oh yeah?
So that's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no cheating going on here. But I mean, the PIX itself has really changed the game for more people than you realize. I mean, I have 5 students using them now
Oh wow.
who
That's awesome.
who have since changed their go-to PIX to these. And it's been cool to see the progression too, because I have a student that's down to the blue one now
The blue one?
in just a few weeks. So
Wow.
yeah, just a few
That's
weeks.
amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think you realize how much lives you've impacted just by creating a little credit card pics that were just for you. Because I mean, I have 5 or 6 people right now that are using them primarily.
That's awesome.
Besides myself, and it's been cool to see the progress and getting all those excited messages every week.
That's so cool.
I mean,
that makes me feel so good. It really does. Thank you for doing that.
No, and
Thank you.
And I mean, when Ellen told me you were making these out of your garage at one point, I was like, if there's anything I can do to help make this as big as it should be.
The interesting part is that I originally were making these 3D printers.
Yeah.
But a 3D printer, which is, as good as it is, can only move so fast. And I needed more than, 25 pics a day. So I decided to go the route of molds, injection molding.
Yeah.
Which is what I do now. But the hardest part about the whole thing is getting it out to the right people in advertising and stuff. And I don't know how to do that. I'm figuring that out as we go.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, same here as content creators. Content creators of any kind, I should add. Not just digital creators, but I mean, content creators of any kind.
It's
People
true.
don't realize that we're our own marketing team.
Yeah.
We're our own everything. And I mean, for example, when I got that collab with Ellen, that gave me a huge boost. Because as you know, she's a really big channel in the guitar community. She's huge. So I approached her just thinking she said no, to be honest. Because I still am pretty small myself. And to my surprise, she said yes. I ended up being in her ear for something related to my service dog. And we decided to film the collab that day. And she had heard my story a bit from Journey because we're both affiliates. So she had heard my name through Journey. But we got to collaborate, and I kind of showed her what I meant by the thumbtack moving around so much.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I could see why that's annoying. And the cool thing was I got to challenge her to play an open C.
Yeah.
So it was fun for me to like watch an experienced player feel like a beginner again.
That's awesome.
I got to throw her off a bit. But I mean, so when she told me about the picks, I was like, finally, because what you don't know is like we had okay, we had done something similar back in the day.
Hmm.
Where I attached a pencil to a thumb pick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had done something similar, but it was still flopping around a lot.
Hmm.
So we scrapped that idea. And I kind of just put that on the back burner, never thought about it again. Just kind of did what worked. And then when I found it, I was like, hey,
He copied me.
I think that was kind of the trajectory I was going in. But obviously these are much more well made. But what made you think of the whole textured grip situation?
Well, I started messing around with the original designs, didn't have the textures, didn't have the hole in the middle, the grip space, and it was made out of a certain kind of a plastic. And I just started talking with, different people. And the next thing you know, I just thought to myself, if it's going to be something that you're worried about slipping and turning, you got to figure out how to stop it. So there are some picks out there that are designed with circles in the middle of them,
Yeah, I've seen them.
and that's okay. But a circle isn't going to stop something from spinning. A circle is going
Yeah.
to allow something to spin, whereas a horizontal line, oval, I guess is how I put it, in the grip space, it creates like a barrier from it moving.
Yeah, and I've noticed personally that my thumb just sits in there and does not move.
That's great. I'm so thankful to hear you say that.
Like I've noticed personally in my playing, I haven't had people tell me this directly, but I've noticed myself that once I once I get a firm grip on it, it's not going anywhere. Like
That's great.
I spoke for 2 hours on Tuesday and it did not budge. It did not budge.
Wow.
No matter what I did, no matter how jerky my movements got, it did not budge.
That's so great.
And I mean, like, like, like I told you, for a lot of us, like, we drop things 50 million times a day too. Like, to not drop something is a big deal. And
Good.
that was one of the like that was one of the first things I did with it. I was like, okay, let me just see if it'll move when I'm holding a conversation. Because I
Mhm.
mean, as musicians, we stop in our conversation in the middle of playing all the time. Like
Yeah.
happens. And so that's one of the first things I did. And I didn't realize it, but my music therapist pointed it out to me. She's like, hey, you haven't dropped it. And it's been an
No
hour and a
kidding.
half.
Wow.
I'm like, wait, you're right. Like, because at that point, I wasn't even thinking about it.
Right.
I kind of forgot I had it in my hand, to be honest. Because I mean, thumb pegs, thumb pegs can be a little weighty.
Okay.
It can be a little weighty. So, like, it's on. But with these, like, yeah, I know I have it, but sometimes I subconsciously forget just because they're so easy to hold that I just
Yeah.
subconsciously forget. But for you, did you notice the change pretty much immediately, or was it kind of a gradual shift?
No, it was for me, it was immediate. And that's why I kind of stuck to it and then decided to refine it with different material and different playing around with shape of the hole and stuff. But it was, I stopped. I haven't used this standard guitar pick in probably 3 years
Yeah, I
since I
haven't.
started doing these.
I haven't used a thumb pick in like a month.
Nice.
So yeah, But I mean, is there anything more you're planning to do with them?
It's so early to the God's honest truth is I have to learn how to sell them.
Yeah.
And that's not easy. I'm trying to sell them now. I'm not getting a lot of sales because I don't know how to advertise really well, and I'm learning that. So, you know, the
Well,
thing is,
whatever I can do to help you out, by all means, hit me up and we'll
you're
do it.
already helping me a lot, and I really appreciate it. I would like to be able to have a copy of this podcast and link it on my website so that you
For
have
sure.
links to your website as to your
For
show
sure.
and stuff.
For sure, it'll be up tonight. So, yeah, you'll definitely get the copy of it. But I'm also gonna do that tutorial too that I'm gonna feature it in.
Oh,
So
cool.
we'll do a little segment. We'll do like a little sponsored segment without the sponsorship.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. But I was thinking too, like just us talking. I was thinking too, like it would be you would get a lot done in the in the disabled guitarist community. Like
Yeah.
we get a lot done. And I know they weren't specifically made for that,
Yeah.
but my advice, take it and run with it.
I'm going to. I don't know
Do
how to
that wherever you
access.
can.
I don't know how to access the disabled guitar community. I
Well,
don't know.
well,
I'm.
something I can let you in on.
That would be wonderful. I
Um,
appreciate that.
I do have disabled guitarist friends that I've been passing these along to, and because I have a friend of mine. He had a stroke, so he has no use of his left hand. When he was 3 years old, he had a stroke, so he plays
Oh,
entirely one-handed. And
wow.
and what he did with them is really cool. And I'll try to find a picture for you and send it to
Okay.
you. But since he played one-handed, he was kind of worried that it wasn't a thumbtack. Because
Hmm.
he kind of relies on that. Because he needs his other fingers for chords and stuff.
Yeah.
He does play in standards.
Really?
Everyone's surprised. But yeah, he actually he actually created a little strap for it. So it's
Cool.
just like a thumbtack, but he still gets the fluidity he wants.
Awesome.
So I was like, hey, but I mean, I've I've given your info to so many people. My music therapist is actually in the process of ordering a variety pack right now because
Oh,
she's as obsessed with them as I am. Um,
wow.
but
Awesome.
yeah, if there's anything I can do to help you get the word out, I'm gonna do it because you've changed not only my playing but playing of my students so much in just a few weeks. I've gotten so many messages being like, "Where was these a year ago?"
I'm
Um,
humbled by that.
and for me, I'm like, we've been talking for maybe a few weeks now, and I didn't know at the time how much they would change my playing, but the second I even picked it up, not even touched the guitar with it, I knew it was gonna be pretty much what I needed for 9 years of my life that I didn't have. And sure enough, rhythm stuff is a lot smoother now.
Oh, awesome.
Because that's the thing, like people often assume that we can't do something because we don't know how to do it.
Right.
That's not it at all. I'm not sure if I told you, but before I started playing myself, because I was told no so many times, I said, okay, maybe they are right. Like maybe I should just teach. Because I knew how to play in standard in my head. I just couldn't physically execute it. So I mean, a lot of the times it's like I know what I want to do in my head.
Yeah.
My body just doesn't do it.
Oh, you can do anything. It just takes perseverance.
So I mean, for me, it took a lot of dissecting. It took a lot of once we got once we got the holding of the guitar down, we're like, okay, let's move on. So we kind of took it in like every time we would hit a milestone, even if it was the smallest milestone on the planet. Like I remember when I was able to get clear notes for the first time.
Mm.
It was a big old party.
Yeah, I bet.
Which I mean, it is for traditional players, but when you can't do things like that, it's amplified times 100.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, it was a lot of taking the little victories and really celebrating them and not dismissing them, you know. Or like, for example, with the pegs, like even me not dropping it was huge.
That's awesome.
But for someone else, will be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I was like, whoa, I've been talking for an hour and I haven't jerked this out of my hand yet. Because I mean, my movements can be very jerky. You can't really notice it right now, but my movements can be really jerky. So
Right.
the first time I jerked with the pick in my hand, I was fully prepared for it to go.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna fly. But the thing was, it was sitting so well in the oval in the group that it did not move.
Awesome.
And we were like, okay, that's fine. Like I don't have to worry about that anymore because I am a music major. I'm not sure if I've told you, so I'm in school currently.
Oh, good. Where at?
South Texas College.
Oh, nice.
And I play for school a lot, and
Wow.
that was picks were always a big question mark for my guitar professor because hello, he had never taught someone impaired. I mean, not many of us go this route or go through the
Sure.
program. So he's been kind of learning with me, learning what works and what doesn't. And the second I showed him these, he's like, "Hey, you haven't dropped that."
That's awesome.
Like that's what I tell you. But yeah, I mean, I honestly think you could do a lot with these. I mean, they are so diverse. I mean, and I mean they're good. I feel like they're good motivators too,
Oh,
because
good.
you always want to get down to that next handle level. So like, I had one student tell me that he felt like he was playing a game.
Really? That's
Because
awesome.
he always wanted to get down to the next handle. So like,
Yeah.
he always wanted to beat the level.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, thank you for being on today. This was fun getting to hear the story behind what I've been using for about a month now. Like I said, this should be up tonight. So I will get this to you the second it goes up. The tutorial should be coming tomorrow, if not Sunday. So be on
Okay.
for that. I'll give you a link to that as well if you want to put it up on the website. The review should be out tomorrow, hopefully, because
Okay.
I did do an in-depth review.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
So that should be fun. And what's cool about the review, I did a comparison between my Black Mountain thumb pick, who I used in the course, and these, and you can actually see the movement because
It's amazing.
some picks get so wobbly. I'm not sure if you've used a thumb pick ever,
I have not.
but especially they're great for like blue stuff and like single line stuff like that. But when it comes to rhythm stuff, those things are flopping everywhere. They are. One time I was mid song and I realized that my pick did a complete 360 turn around.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, and I have pretty small hands, so that's also part of it. Um, I may be 25, but I'm tiny, so that's also part of it. I mean, some picks are hard to size too.
Yep.
Right now, this is gonna sound funny, but it works. The most comfortable guitar I have right now, because guitars were also a big
Yeah.
challenge. Body shapes were a big challenge.
Yeah.
So I tend to stick to travel guitars because hello, 3/4 to like half size are pretty much my go-to. But acoustics can be pretty thick, as you know.
Yes.
And I mean, getting an arm that's already tight as it is over something that thick is just not fun.
Yeah.
So I recently started looking into like thin line bodies, and the mini strap by Squire is has been my go-to recently,
Okay.
just because it fits so well in the chair that I don't have to move anything. I don't have to move my joystick. Nothing moves, and
That's good.
it's thin enough that I can just get up and go pretty much. But yeah, I mean everything from picks to body shapes, and that's one thing I covered in the course a lot. We have 2 episodes on just buying your first guitar,
Cool.
because especially when you're in a chair, like you have to take into consideration a lot more than a standard player would.
Yeah, I think Fender is putting out a guitar that's an acoustic guitar
Yeah,
that is as thin as an electric guitar.
yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
The acoustic sonic, I think it's called.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, these picks have not only changed my game, but many other games. From what I know, so yeah, I felt this was the best thing I can do to get the word out for you.
Thank
Besides,
you so much.
besides all the digital content I'll be doing for you pretty soon. And if you ever need anything for the site or something, just let me know.
I always do. So
I
anytime you
can
feel like getting creative, just let me know.
I can hit you up, do some fun stuff for you. What I can also do, I can send you that clip of the thumbpick comparison. That way,
Yeah.
because we got a really cool angle with it to where you can really see the thumbpick move,
Okay.
which is what I
That's
want.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
wanted
that's awesome.
to show the topsy turvy movement, but yeah, everything should be out by, if not this weekend, next week. So yeah, once everything is released, I will send it over, and if there's anything you ever need, feel free to reach out. Any new iterations of the pick, I'll be happy to try them out for you.
Oh yeah, don't worry. You'll be getting more picks, so don't worry about that.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for joining me today. It was fun.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, for sure.
All right. Let me just ask you this. With your name, do I pronounce the H or not?
No, people ask me this all the time, and I get 50 million iterations of it. So it is actually air, like the air,
Aram.
like the air you breathe when then on at the end of it. Yeah.
Okay, Aram. Got it.
But the worst
Aram, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. This has been heartwarming to me, but it makes me feel good that it's really helping you.
no, of
That's
course.
really a great thing.
And thank you for even thinking of this crazy concoction. I mean, as musicians, we have to get crazy, but this is probably the coolest crazy I've seen. So
Thank you.
yeah, well, if you need anything, feel free to reach out. I'm always here. Something I could do for you too is maybe to get your Instagram a little more active. I could do like a reel for you. Have you
Great.
30-second reels?
Anything like that is wonderful. It's appreciated and I love it.
We could do something like that because the algorithm tends to really push those.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Okay.
we could really do something like that. I know your YouTube isn't that active, but I could give you a copy of the review.
Okay.
Put it on your channel as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to put stuff up on my website. So
Yeah, well, if you ever need anything, I'm here too. Feel
thank
free
you
to
so
reach out.
much.
Alrighty, I will
Thank
see you.
you.
No
Take
problem.
care.
Thank you.